Welcome, family. Welcome to our Bible study. The book of Genesis, chapter 47. Chapter 7. Let's jump to verse 8. Reading verse 8 to 10 there. There's something we have to draw out, okay? Yeah. Verse 8 up to verse 10 of Genesis 47. This was Joseph had brought his father Jacob before Pharaoh the king, okay? Two great men are meeting here. Two great men, yes. And of course, Joseph is also a great man, a great destiny. So this was a meeting of great men. Great men. All right. But there's something which is really interesting, which God was just teaching me here. God was teaching me something. Jacob blesses Pharaoh, okay? But what actually interests me and drew my attention, what my attention was being drawn to was that Pharaoh asked a question. The question is really strange. You are supposed to be asking yourself, why is he asking this question after all? What is the real reason why he is asking this question? What's the reason behind the drive, the motive behind this question? It wasn't on what authority are you blessing me, but how old are you? Yeah. Of course, we expected that because Jacob was blessing Pharaoh, Pharaoh was supposed to ask, on what authority are you blessing me? Who gave you the power or the authority to bless me, a king? Who are you? Such kind of questions. We're thinking he would ask such kind of questions. But why is it now he just asked, how old are you? Was it because he was seeing the gray hair or a walking staff? No, he wasn't seeing that. There is something which Pharaoh understood. You see, Pharaoh might be a person who practices all those things, divination and all that, but he is very spiritual. He is very, very spiritual, this Pharaoh. More like it was more like what depth and what height do you have in God? This is the age, the oldness which is being asked of. The age which Pharaoh was really referring to was not the number of years which Jacob had lived, but he wanted to know how old he had been walking with this God of his. He knew that there is something which comes from walking with God for quite a while. There are things which you draw, there are things which are invested in your life, there are things which you become even a custodian of. You no longer go to God to say, God, give me this or that. No, they become part of you. You're actually able to give them to men like they are yours. My God. So how long have you journeyed with God? And what have you trapped and secured in him? That was more of the question there. This is the journey that gives you the ground to bless people. The ground to bless others. That journey with God is the ground, the legal ground, which gives you a right to be blessing and to be speaking over the lives of others. It's not a place for babies. That one is not a place for babies. It's not a place for toddlers. That one is a place for the grown and the matured in the spirit. Yes, the matured in the spirit. That's the yes, you get to now see now age in the spirit. Yes, a height, a depth in the spirit. And Pharaoh knew it. If there is no maturity and depth in the spirit, then they are just mere words, just good words. They don't manifest. That's why he was asking, yes, you've blessed me, but how old are you? Yeah, I know you've blessed me, you've spoken something good over my life, but how old are you? I want to know if these things which you have spoken will ever come to pass, because they will only come to pass if you have a journey, if you have a track record with God, if you have height, if you have gained maturity in the spirit. My God, I hope you are already desiring to grow in spirit. I hope you are already desiring to grow in spirit, so that the things which you are speaking, they are not just words, they are not just mere words. When you say you are blessed, that person is truly blessed. Whether they want it or they don't want, they will see those blessings and they will remember, that guy, what's his name, by the way? There is that time when he just released blessings over my life. I didn't even take it seriously, but if I'm just looking at my life, I'm seeing blessings. Hey, what's really going on here? You become an authority. Okay, all right. So only the mature in the spirit release a word. The mature in the spirit, when they release a word, that word that doesn't just hover around and about. No, that word becomes, it manifests. They have journeyed with God enough to be custodians of Of what? Of let there be light, and there was light. So anytime you hear them speaking and say something, know that it will come to pass. We'll get to understand this when Jacob was blessing his children. You will get to see that whatever he spoke over the lives of his children, whether the children liked it or not, it was. Why? He has journeyed with God. He is a father. I know we have so many people whom we call fathers and so on and so on. But this one is now a father. Why? He has gained height in God. He has gained a depth in God. He is now mature to be called a father. We have never heard of anywhere where a person who is under the age of 13 is called a father. Never. Why? It's because you need to mature first. You can never release any seed which produces something in the lives of someone if you are not yet older than 13. Your body is not yet ready to be releasing anything whatsoever which will become a seed, which will fertilize the egg of a woman. So you cannot be a father when you are a teenager. That's what I'm trying to say. When you are below the age of 13, I know around 14 going upwards, that's when we start to talk about puberty and all that. So we are saying beneath that age, you cannot be a father. You cannot be a father. Why? Even if the physical is telling us that you cannot be a father at certain ages, so it means that even in the spirit, you cannot be a father at certain ages. You need to grow. There is something which you start to produce. There should be seed which you can release from your life into the life of another. That seed will start to bear fruit. If you cannot release seed from your life into the life of another, and that seed will produce something, then know that you are not yet a father. My God, I really believe you get that one. You get that one. All right. God bless you. Let's move on to Genesis chapter 48.